Well, hi, this is Antoinette Thorns, and you are watching Transistor Rodeo, where we round up the news for you. Let's talk a little bit about internet privacy. Recently, it's come out that they're rolling back more and more regulations on internet privacy, basically saying you don't deserve privacy anymore. You know, your Fourth Amendment, be damned. You don't need that shit anymore. I'm going to refer to an article in The Intercept by Glenn Greenwald. If you're not familiar with Glenn Greenwald, you remember Edward Snowden. Glenn Greenwald was the guy that helped him get this information to WikiLeaks. He was the guy who he met with at that Russian so it was actually at the Hong Kong hotel. And that he was trying to get, Snowden was trying to get to South America, I believe it was Argentina, but he couldn't make it. His passport only allowed him to get to Russia, and that's as far as he could go, and that's where he's been ever since. But Glenn Greenwald was the guy that broke this story. And, I consider the guy a patriot, honestly. You know, he flies in the face of all corporate media. You know, they ask him these silly, ridiculous corporate media questions, and he just answers them with the truth, and they just stand there going, I have no idea what you're talking about. But he makes perfect sense to me. And we'll go through this article, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You know how Facebook has those little ads on the side of the screen, and you're like, man, how did Facebook know I was shopping for guitar strings? Or how did Facebook know that I was looking for a comforter for my bed? It's because they are able to monitor your purchase habits. They were able to buy that information. Now, Snowden basically pointed that out in 2010 that the NSA was spying on you. And then recently it's come to light, and I'm sure that you've heard, that the CIA, CIA. You never put the in front of CIA, it's just CIA. But CIA was basically doing the same practices, except they're shittier at it. They didn't have to have a whistleblower. They just fucked it up and let the information out. There's stupid names, so I can't remember. What was it? Some kind of broken angel or some shit. That doesn't matter. But now they want to roll back these privacy laws, not just with Facebook and with Google, but now with your internet provider. The difference between Facebook and Google is that you can sign out of them. Okay? Once you sign out of Facebook, they can't look at your purchasing. You have to actually be signed on to Facebook before they can look at it. Now, sometimes you do, and that's why you get the little advertisements on the side, because they know your purchase habits. Same thing with Google. But now they want to be able to sell that to your internet provider. You cannot surf the net without an internet provider. So you're always going to be on. So they're always going to be doing that. So they're spying on our phones. They're collecting metadata on our text messages, on our phone calls. And God forbid if you make FaceTime calls or, you just happen to be watching a video and they can use the camera on your phone to stare at you, So our privacy is basically gone. But back in the Obama days, he said that no, internet servers like Comcast and Time Warner Cable, Spectrum, because that's what it is now. But these huge companies, they can't buy this information. Well, under Trump, now they can. Who does your government serve anyway? They serve you, or they serve their billionaire donors? I think it's the billionaire donors. Okay, well, let's go to this article. Greenwald, and I'm going to be quoting this, selling these internet service providers this information on your spending habits. This has one purpose: maximizing commercial interest for these telecom giants at the expense of ordinary citizens. It's so blatant here, it cannot even be disguised. So with all of the surveillance, the Patriot Act, the collection of your phone calls, and of course they put it all under the auspice of, it's for your safety. This is for your safety. It's not for us. You know, I mean, when we get to make a little money on it, it's no big deal, but it's just for your safety. Yeah, it's your safety. Got nothing to do with their pockets. Nothing to do with their money. Your safety. Anyway, go back to the article. He goes, that's why, despite its devastating harm, selling this information to your internet provider, that's why, despite its devastating harm for individual privacy, there is a benefit to this episode. Wow, a benefit. Let's hear what the benefit is. I'm loving a good benefit. Even though it's screwing you over, there is a benefit. It is illustrating for those who still have yet to realize it, that's the majority of the public, who actually dominates Congress and owns its members. The corporate donor class. I mean, this is why Sanders caught on, essentially. This is why him getting up there, putting his little crooked old man finger going, the 1%ers are going to pay. That's why we all loved him, because he was fighting against this corporatocracy, this oligarchy, this plutocracy, this selling of America to the richest of the rich. Go back to the article. No one can pay attention to these decisions that are being made behind closed doors while they're being pushed through and no one is looking. There is literally no constituent, that's a voter, you are a constituent. There's literally no constituent in favor of this bill, other than these huge telecom giants. I'd be surprised if even a single voter who cast their ballot for Trump or GOP Congress even thought about, let alone favored, the rescission of privacy protection rules for these internet service providers. Meaning, most people don't even know that this is going on. And even if it's passed, most people don't even know what it means, what they're giving up. You are giving up your privacy, and you're not getting anything in return. They're making money off of spying on you, and we're letting them. We're making it easy. We make our passwords, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, star. Congress does not care about the bottom 90% of America. They only care about the upper 10% because those are the ones that are the big donors. Those are the ones that put money in their coffers. Those are the ones that keep them in office. And they're constantly going to serve them and not you. That's why we need to get money out of politics. Because if it doesn't cost them money to run for office, then they're not going to be begging for money from rich assholes that have to do them favors once they get into office. You get money out of politics, they start working for the people and stop working for their overlord corporate donors. I mean, seriously, aren't conservatives all about privacy? I mean, I thought that that's what it was all about. If you were conservative, you're libertarian. You don't want anybody messing with your stuff. You don't want any rules and regulations. You sure as shit don't want nobody spying on you. Goddamn government off. Get your goddamn government hands off my Medicaid. And of course they spell it wrong. Sorry, I digress. So blatant is this corporate donor servitude here. There is no pretext even available for pretending that this benefits ordinary citizens. I mean, this is so blatantly telling us we are here to make money off of your privacy. And we can't even pretend like it's for your own good. I mean, you read the law, it's got nothing to do with helping the common man. It's all to do with helping them. This is a bill written by and for a small number of corporate giants. exclusively for their commercial benefit at the expense of everyone else's privacy. I will reiterate, we are an oligarchy. We are run by a handful of people for a handful of rich donors. They buy their politicians, the politicians write laws that they want, everybody else gets fucked. Breitbart tried to sell this recently, saying, to undo duplicitous privatization regulations, meaning there's just too many regulations and, you know, we need to get rid of some of them so we could have real corporate freedom. Let me explain something to you, because recently the Republicans have made the word regulation evil. They've made it such a horrible, nasty word. Every time you hear regulation, the first thing you think of is the devil or something. Regulation is a law, okay? Law is what gives us freedoms. If you don't have law, you have chaos. And if you have chaos, you have no freedom. I mean, chaos meaning it's the fucking purge every day. You know, who gives a damn about street laws or, you know, highway laws? There's no speed limits. You can drink and drive. I mean, if you want pure, unadulterated, chaotic freedom, you know, the Republican Party's all about that. You know, we don't want any regulation. We want you to drive as fast as you want. We want you to drink as much as you want. We want you to eat all the fast food in the world and get fat and stupid and make piss poor decisions and keep re-electing them and keep killing yourself off. They want you dumb. They want you stupid. Because an uninformed proletariat, an uninformed population is going to make piss poor decisions, and they're easily triggered by the little catchphrases like values and freedoms. So when people say that regulations are bad, I say, let's look at the definition of regulation. Regulations are laws. Laws are meant to protect your freedom. If you have no law, you have chaos. And if you have chaos, you have no fucking freedom. It's not rocket science, people. Do the math. How about that? He said, Bannon from Breitbart, he said, these regulations are just unfair to these poor little telecom, poor rich bastards. You can hurt the job creators because they're job creators. Yeah, they create jobs in other fucking countries. They don't pay Americans to work anymore. They pay Chinese people to do it. Pay them in Sri Lanka. Donald Trump employs them in Mexico, although he hates Mexico, but he has his ties made in China. He has, what is he, I mean, I know he's got shit made in Mexico. He has things made in every other country but America. But it's all about America. It's a walking fucking contradiction. He is hypocrisy personified. What is more important to you? Your right to privacy or corporations' right to make money? I'll leave that decision to you. This is Antoinette from Transistor Rodeo. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe for more videos and content, and you could follow me on Twitter at Transistor Rodeo.